Hi, my name is Eskil. I'm somewhat of a recording nerd, and in this video I'm going to show you how to get the audio from your DAW. This should work with any DAW, and how you get it into OBS for both recording and streaming. Everything we're using in this video is free, and you'll find links in the description so you can easily download it there. I'll also go through some common problems you might encounter when you're doing this and how you can fix them. So let's just go to our computer and get started. So here we are at the computer, and the first thing you're going to do is to go to the description of the video and find this link, the Reaper link, and then you're going to download this and just click that, then install it. Click yes, I agree. Now this is just a pack of plugins, and if you want a compressor and equalizer and gate and this stuff right here, then go ahead and install it all, but the only thing you actually need is the Restream right here. So click next, and then the path or destination folder is quite important, and if you're looking around in OBS trying to find where you can install your VST plugins, I didn't find it, but I found this guide, so all of these destination folders should work. So the choice or the standard thing that popped in here was the program files Steinberg. So it's the top one right here for me, and that should be working fine. So then you install that plugin folder right there. I'm going to click cancel because I already have it installed. And if you're looking at a video where you're trying to stream and record your DAW, I'm pretty sure you know what you're doing, but just make sure. I'll open my DAW, remove that, go to options, preference, and then you'll find plugins, and then find VST. Now, if you're using another DAW than Reaper, there's somewhere you'll find preference and plugins and VST, and you'll see what paths your DAW is looking for plugins. And as you can see, I have this here, that directory path in Reaper as well, so it'll find that plugin. So just install that plugin and make sure that OBS and Reaper can find it. So when the Restream plugin is installed, you can see it already on my master track here, so I'll remove it and show you how it works, and then I'll mute this track as well, and we'll add it to both of these. So the first thing you have to do is just on your master track in your DAW, add an effect. I've already searched for it, but all plugins, search Restream, and then whichever one of these, both work fine. So there we have it, and then we'll click send audio, because this is the Reaper one from the DAW, and we're sending audio, and just click here and go local broadcast. Okay. Now in OBS you want to add a audio input capture there, and you'll just call it whatever you want, but DAW makes sense, and then I'll just add 2 since I already have one, but this is so that I show you how it works. Then you might be thinking that you should use your interface. I use a Focusrite interface, so you might be thinking you should choose this. Don't do that, because if you do, I'll show you. Now you can see that there's probably some echo effect on my microphone, because my microphone is connected to the Focusrite. And we don't want that because your audio source is actually Restream, so there's no reason for you. So there's no reason for you to have your mic connected to this. So for me, default works because it doesn't make any sound. Just choose one that doesn't make any sound, a device that you don't use. So default works for me, but Camlink also works, since that's a video capture card and it doesn't do audio, even though it says digital audio interface. And if none of them work, you can install Voicemeter, which is linked in the description. And it's also free. So you can install that and don't do anything, and it should pop up as a option like this. And you'll see that the DAW track isn't triggering at all when I've chosen that. But for me, default works. It might work for you as well. So, okay. And what we're going to do then is to right-click this, filters, and then you'll add a filter, and that's just click the plus down there, and then you'll see a VST down here. Click that, call it whatever you want, click OK, and then you'll find the Restream, and it'll say Restream Standalone. Boom. That's added. Now open plugin interface, and it looks like that, and it should be receiving audio. Now the identifier here, it has to be the same. I just leave it at default on both of these. If this was changed, it wouldn't work. So this is now sending audio, and this is receiving. So when I press play in the DAW now, it should trigger you should see it triggering on this and also here. And you can also see it triggering on DAW 2 right here. And here's a tip: when you're recording audio from Restream from your DAW into OBS, then in Reaper the last plugin is the one that, so this is the effects chain. This happens first, then this, and then we get this right here, and then it sends the audio then gets sent. So these affect the audio when it's sent to Restream. So right before Restream, I add quite a hard limiter. So this makes it so that it doesn't clip. And if you're still dealing with clipping, remember that in OBS you can change the volume right here. So if you're getting loud volume, remember, if you're streaming, you don't want it to clip. So if I press play here, you could just So that's how you get your audio from your DAW into OBS. Now there is some other problems that you might encounter that we're going to go through now, but this works for now. So we're going to have a look at the advanced audio options or properties in OBS. So you just click the cog wheel on any of the audio tracks here and then advanced audio properties. So then you get this, and we'll have a look right here. Now if you're going to stream audio from OBS, then I figured out that, and I don't know if it probably says somewhere in settings or whatever, but I didn't read it, but if you're streaming audio, the track 1 is the only one that gets streamed. So if you're streaming, then have all of these audio sources. This is a video source, the Atom Mini, so I don't have that added. It could as well be because it doesn't make any sound, but these audio sources should be active if you want to hear them in a stream. Now if you're recording a video that you want to edit later, then it's quite nice that you can add tracks, or what track the audio source should end up on. So that means that when you put this video file from OBS, when you're finished, into your video editor of choice, you'll get the video track, and then under that you'll get the audio tracks, and here we will get audio track 1 would be all of these things together, and on audio track 2 now we would get the DAW, but this track shouldn't be here because this is the one we made. I have my DAW track right here, which goes to number 3. So for me, I get a audio track on my video files first that says that gives me all these mixed together, and then on track 2 we get a talking mic, which is this microphone, into OBS, and then we get the restream audio from our DAW on the 3rd track, and on the 4th track we have desktop audio such as games and Spotify, YouTube, whatever. And I'll show you how that works because we're going to have a look at the sync offset. Now you see that I've created a new track for the DAW, which is just for this demonstration. And the offset is set to 0 milliseconds. Now, because if you're recording with 0 milliseconds, we're going to do this and I'll show you how to fix it. Your OBS is going to be set at 0 on all of these sources. So when you added your DAW or a talking mic, it's going to be offset. So the audio and video probably isn't going to line up. So I'm going to record a test video with 0 milliseconds and show you how weird that looks, and then I'll show you how to fix it. So now I'm back. I recorded some test footage with the audio off sync set to 0 milliseconds, so it isn't fixed. So this footage might look a little weird. I've looked at it, it isn't really that bad, but when we get to the claps, you'll understand that it's actually out of sync. The talking wasn't that bad, but it might be worse for you, might be better, so you might not have to do this. But if you're having problem with the audio being out of sync with the video, then this is how you fix it. And here you can clearly see the tracks that we made as well. This is the DAW and this is the desktop audio. So you can see that this is the streaming track. All of these are gathered together here, and then we have our talking mic track from OBS, and this is the DAW and the desktop audio as we set it up in OBS. So if you're doing video content, that is a great way to set it up so that you can make changes to these individually in your video editor. Now let's just have a look at this footage, which is out of sync, but it's not that bad on the talking part. So this is the test footage where I've set the offset of the audio back to 0 milliseconds. So this is how it would look if you don't do anything with that. It's quite strange and it looks weird. And now we're just going to do some claps so that we can look in our video editor to see how we fix this audio offset. So there we have our first clap, and now you can also see that I've muted the streaming track and I've muted the DAW. If we zoom in closer here, we can see that the DAW and talking mic are, all of them are quite similar. So what you do is, I hope this comes through in OBS. Let's check. I'm going to go frame by frame until I hear the clap. Okay, so what I do, you can either go from this frame where it hits exactly or the frame before, and then you count how many frames there is from the sound until you can see my hands actually touching up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Four or 5 if we check it up against the DAW, unmuting that and muting this. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on both of these it seems to be like 4, 5 frames. 6 could even work as well probably, but it will get it a lot closer. So what you would do is you'll take, I'm going for 5 frames, and then you'll have to divide that on the frames per second that you're filming in. So I film in 24 frames per second. So I would do, let's get a calculator. I would do 5 frames divided by 24 equals, then you get this number, and this is the number that we want. You should multiply it with 1,000, and then you get 208. So if you're filming in 60 frames per second and it was 5, that's probably not correct, but if it was, then you would do 5 divided by 60 equals that, and then times 1,000, and then it would be 83. So we got 208, and I've already changed that in OBS again. So I'll drag OBS over. Here we have OBS again, and audio properties, advanced audio properties, and you'll see it says 208 on both talking mic and DAW. So if you want to really test it with 4 frames, 5 frames, 6 frames to get it as perfect as it can be, then just mess around with that. So that's how you fix the audio offset and check it. Just check it in your video editor and you'll find your number that way. Okay, so that's it. I hope you found this video useful, and if you're having any problems at all, then just leave a comment down below and I'll try to help you. Thanks for watching, have a good one. I hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day and goodbye.